Hey there from the KUOW newsroom. This is Seattle Now. I'm Patricia Murphy with today's top stories. It's Wednesday, August 19th. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson announced an executive order to jumpstart housing construction today. The order would make the housing permit process faster and create a housing production task force. Seattle City Council member Eddie Lynn will co-chair the group, along with representatives from labor, market rate developers, and affordable housing providers. The task force will work for 12 months with its initial recommendations for increasing affordable housing due February 2027. While parts of Mount Rainier National Park are experiencing fires, officials have eased some wildfire closures as of this week. White River Campground is back open to people with permits, but all trails starting from the campground remain closed. The Wonderland Trail is also open, and the Park Service has resumed issuing permits for Wonderland hikers. Meanwhile, the Sunrise Visitor Center, parts of the White River Road and Sunrise Road are closed until further notice. In other wildfire news from Spokane, the Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Ecology are working their way through neighborhoods that have burned in the Spokane complex fires. Spokane Public Radio's Lisa Lineberger reports on what crews may find.
For the next 60 days, crews will clean up hazardous household waste. Spokane Regional Health District has issued a public health order that says homeowners shouldn't rebuild before materials have been removed. EPA Incident Commander Brooke Stanfield says that crews may not only find toxic materials, but things that explode.
Ammunition that hasn't been discharged. And so we will sweep that up, or if it's too big for our crews, which is usually like 50 caliber or larger, we'll call in the bomb squad.
The hazmat teams will also find intact firearms. Stanfield says that when they find these, they turn them over to the sheriff's office to get them back to the owner. While teams are cleaning up these materials, Stanfield wants residents to know that they don't have to worry about cleaning up anything hazardous. I'm Lisa Lineberger.
The cost of fighting Washington's 20 wildfires for July and August alone has added up to $207 million. That's more than two-thirds of what the State Department of Natural Resources spent in all of the last fiscal year fighting fires. The cost is split between local, state, and federal agencies. Governor Bob Ferguson and Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner sent a joint letter to President Donald Trump Tuesday asking to meet and discuss federal recovery aid. More than 790,000 acres have burned in Washington this year, the third highest acreage on record, with several months left in the fire season. In non-fire environmental news, climate change is expected to bring lower stream flows, warmer winter temperatures, and less snowpack in lower elevations here in Washington. That's according to a presentation from the state's climatologist. Northwest Public Broadcasting's Courtney Flatt has more.
It's not often that you get a peek into the future, but climate scientists say Washington State glimpsed into the crystal ball in 2015 with its lowest snowpack on record. Guillaume Maugier is Washington's state climatologist. At the Northwest Power and Conservation Council's August meeting, he said conditions in 2015 led to hundreds of thousands of fewer sockeye, major crops with poor yields, and millions spent on fire suppression.
From a weather nerd perspective, it was something I never expected to see in my lifetime.
Maugier says he expects those conditions to be normal by the 2070s or 2080s. This year, he says, it's highly likely the region will experience a very strong El Niño. Maugier says there isn't much data for this strong of an El Niño, but in the Northwest, El Niños often mean higher winter temperatures and less snowfall. I'm Courtney Flatt.
The Trump administration is moving ahead with a plan to open more forests to logging and other development. It's publishing the details of its proposal today. Oregon Public Broadcasting's April Ehrlich has this report.
Since 2001, the roadless rule has mostly prohibited new road construction in 30% of national forest lands. They include almost 2 million acres in each of Oregon and Washington. The Trump administration first announced plans to rescind the rule last year. Now it's outlining what those forest lands could look like if the roadless rule goes away. New roads could bring more logging, mining, and other development to these largely undisturbed forests. Roads can also increase traffic, raising the risk of air pollution, water pollution, pollution and wildfires. Timber leaders and rural counties hope the change could bring more logging revenue. Environmentalists worry it will pollute drinking water and harm wildlife, like spotted owls and salmon. People have about a month to review and weigh in on the roadless rule proposal. I'm April Ehrlich reporting.
Last month's deadly Seattle Center shooting is still on many minds, a recent poll found. Nearly 3/4 of Seattle voters support expanding the city's camera network. Joe Wynn is the director of the Seattle Chamber of Commerce, which conducted the poll.
People care about public safety, and they're pretty clear that if used correctly, the CCTV cameras are a very, very viable resource that we should be employing to protect our communities.
At a City Hall news conference Monday, Leah Salerno with Communities Not Cameras argued that cameras don't prevent crime, and the Chamber's poll didn't account for other solutions like violence intervention programs.
The questions for that Chamber poll did not offer people the real data-driven solutions that we know people, when you talk to them, are in support of.
The Chamber polled 500 registered voters in Seattle. 34% say they're confident that the mayor has an effective plan to address public safety. 90% supported increased police patrols in high-crime areas. Mayor Katie Wilson paused expansion of police surveillance cameras after taking office because of concerns about privacy and civil liberties. An audit of the program is expected this fall. If you're looking to head to the beach to enjoy the end of summer, King County says Matthews Beach is safe for people and pets to swim in. The beach was recently closed after the water tested positive for some of the highest bacteria levels in the last 6 years. There are still a few unsafe beaches. Houghton Beach and Juanita Beach are both closed due to high bacteria. Lake Wilderness Beach is closed due to toxic algae. Officials will test the water at these beaches again next week to see if they can safely reopen. You can hear more about how the county determines if the water is safe in previous Seattle Now coverage. And here's another reminder about light rail trips to and from the airport. Sound Transit will replace some late-night one-line trips with buses this week to get some maintenance work done. Stations between Angle Lake and Rainier Beach will close tonight and tomorrow night. Officials say if you're riding the buses, plan for about 30 extra minutes in travel time after 9 p.m. Next time on Seattle Now, Freeway Park turned 50 years old this summer. It's the first ever park to be built as a lid over a freeway, and advocates are making big investments in the park's future.
We are working to address the design challenges that contribute to a lack of safety, or certainly a lack of perception of safety in the park, and that's for sure, that's lighting. That is opening up sight lines and edges. That's wayfinding to make sure people know how to get from point A to point B in the park.
Hear more Thursday morning. And one more thing before we go, our question of the week. Wild Waves is closing after 50 years. What's your favorite memory of going there? You can send us a voice message by going to the KUOW app and selecting Talk to Us in the menu. That's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers. I'm Patricia Murphy. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See ya.